Hey guys, so this is the final part of the video. This is part 3, and this one is more about different aspects of a healthy relationship. So what elements do you need to have a healthy functioning relationship? There's a lot of different things, and I think that the one thing people focus on the most is love. And love is a huge, important part. Emotional expression in any relationship is very important, including relationships that are not romantic relationships. Emotional expression with our mothers, fathers, cousins, brothers, sisters, it's important. But beyond just being in love with somebody, effective communication, being able to say what is necessary to be said, and how we communicate with each other. Always remembering to honor and respect one another, show each other love and decency, knowing what conversations can be had in front of other people and what conversations are left for private, not getting into arguments in front of the children, shared children or not. Not allowing our family members in certain aspects of our lives because they're always going to give you their view, and sometimes their view can be skewed, not on purpose. I definitely think that seeking, a wise elder every now and again is important, but just remember what the tone of the information that you're receiving is. And always take it with a grain of salt. Just remember that. But as far as, other elements of a functioning relationship, again, beyond emotional expression, effective communication, there needs to be some common interest. If the person that you are with, you have absolutely nothing in common. You don't like the same music. You don't like the same food. You don't like the same activities. You hang around with different crowds. And you guys literally have nothing to talk about other than you guys liking the way each other looks and bonding on the fact that you guys like to be sexually intimate with each other. That's not a relationship. Like, being able to be open and knowing what being open means. Like, you can be vulnerable with someone, but you have to understand what that vulnerability is. Are they being open to you? And at what expense are you letting your guard down? Because if you're letting your guard down and the fact that you just feel comfortable with this person, what makes you feel comfortable with this person? And what makes this person trustworthy enough for you to be comfortable with? Like, before you start a relationship, you should always conduct an interview process. Everyone should. And everybody's timing on how long they think that interview process should take. Some people it's a few weeks, some people it's a few months, some people it's a few days. You need to know what best suits you. But different elements that make a relationship work are going to take work. And I think that that's the part that people really forget. Like, most people, it's the chase in the beginning that they work for. Man, is y'all getting a number, getting to go on the first date. Then after the first date is, the first time that y'all have sex. Like, there has to be something. And then after that, it's like, you'll either decide whether or not you want to be with this person for the long haul, whether they're one night, are you looking towards making this person, a lasting candidate for, possibly for marriage. And I think the biggest issue in all of that is we don't understand what it is. A lot of times we just fall into relationships. And just as quickly as you fall into a relationship without putting in any work, you will fall out. It's not easy at all. Being in love and being with someone is not easy because you literally put all of their needs on the same pedestal that you put yours. And that's difficult. Being responsible for somebody's emotional and mental state consistently is a big responsibility. Now, I'm not saying that you are completely responsible for it, but in part you are. You have to, as a companion, you have to think about things that are going to make them happy. You have to think about things that are going to make them tick. You have to think about things that are going to make them view you in the way that you want to be viewed. You have to learn to love someone the way that they want to be loved. And a lot of times, we want to be loved different. Men and women want to be loved different. Different women want to be loved different from other women. And different men want to be loved different from other men. Some women want a man that has it all together when they get together. And some women want a man that they can struggle with till they create their empire together. There are kept women, and a lot of times that has a negative stigma with it, but there's nothing wrong with being a kept woman. And then there are independent women. You decide which one you are. Men is the same thing. Some men need to feel like they are the alpha male, that they got everything on lock. They can pay all the bills. They can, whatever is needed for the household financially, or, they maintain, they protect everyone. And then some men want a woman that can hold her own, where they walk into the relationship. I'm not going to say 50-50, but 100-100. They want to walk into a relationship with a woman that has her own car, that has her own place, that has her own job, that she's not looking for anybody to maintain her. So you have to know what it is that you want. And then if a person does not offer that, do not fool yourself in thinking somewhere along the line they can be what it is that I need. Now, if they're voicing to you that there are certain changes that they would like to make, but they don't know where to start and you're willing to help them, that's one thing. But if it's a thing of they're telling you, no, that's not me. Like, for example, a man that tells you that he does not want to be married again is not going to look at you in 3, 4, 5, 6, 20 years and say, you know what? I was wrong. I want you to be my wife. He understands fully that is not a step that he is going to take, ever. You have to be okay with being with a man that does not want to be married again. So you're literally going to be the girlfriend for the rest of your life. If you're okay with that, great. If you are not okay with that, it's time to find somebody else. Or being in a relationship with a man who puts family first, whose mom, cousins, father, brothers, sisters come before you because they feel as though they were here first. If you're okay with that, if you're okay with coming second to family because you feel like, all right, there's nothing like, shared blood, then that's cool. But if you're not and you have to be number one, you have to understand that that is a relationship that you can no longer be in. It is only up to that person to decide if they can meet those expectations. You can lay them out on the table, but if they tell you, I can't do A through Z, thank you for your time and your services. Don't call us, we'll call you. It literally has to be like that. You have to go on an interview process. And a lot of times we skip the interview process and jump right to the bedroom interview process. If they're amazing in the bedroom, we forget about everything else that makes a functioning relationship. Most of your relationship is not going to be spent behind closed doors. And if it is, it's time to find a new relationship because it's very counterproductive. Seriously. Sex is not going to change how a person sees you, because what you can do, sweetheart, someone else out there can do. And sometimes someone else can do it better. You have to have something lasting. You have to set a foundation. You have to set expectations. You have to have elements that make a functioning relationship. And if you don't have a relationship. Y'all have titles. And that's all there is. I feel like black love can be revived, but we have to, like other nationalities, start teaching our sons and daughters how to love properly. There's no guidance anymore. It's literally allow the schools and the televisions to raise your children. As long as I keep my kids in school and they making straight A's, as long as I take them to church on Sundays, as long as, I tell them to do as I say and not as I do, they're going to grow up and they're going to be fine. We are destroying our children. We are destroying the next generation because there's no real guidance. Our sons and daughters need mentors. Mothers need to be mentors to their daughters. And fathers need to be mentors to their sons. And if a mother or a father is not involved in that child's life, then it is up to us as parents, whatever type of title we are, whether we are a grandmother taking care of our grandson, or an aunt taking care of a nephew, or a godmother or godfather. You have to find effective resources to raise these children the proper way. Because if you leave it up to music and television, we're going to have more than just Chris Brown beating on Rihanna. We're going to have more than just, what is that girl's name? Jocelyn Hernandez and Mimi fighting over guys like Stevie J. Like, it's bad. It is really bad out here. And every day, the ideals of relationships and the women and men that my generation and the next generation look up to is so sad. It is so sad. Like, there are no more Phylicia Rashads. There are no more Janelle Monáes. Because we've replaced them with women who have no substance. We've replaced our kings, men who embody black manhood, such as Denzel Washington, and we've replaced them with Soulja Boy. Like, we have to, at some point, we gotta grow up, and we have to accept responsibility. And if we want our children to survive out there in the world and have healthy functioning relationships, because as long as you live on this earth, you are going to have a relationship with somebody, whether it is a romantic relationship, a friendship, a work relationship, you're going to have an effective relationship. If we don't teach our children to have effective relationships, we are raising zombies. And that's not what I want. Now, for my son, I look out here in this world and I see these girls, the pickings are slim for him, and I feel so bad. Same thing for my daughter. The pickings are slim. I literally have to deal with the reality that my daughter might be punched in the face. I literally have to deal with the reality that my son may go to jail, and it's not fair. And a lot of it has to do with these relationships that are not effective. So it is my job, just as any other woman and any other man, we are obligated to having and teaching the effectiveness of having healthy relationships. But I don't want to talk you guys' head off with a lot of different things that I feel, because I can talk for days. Anybody will tell you that. But I do want to thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you next time.